behind the wheel. They'd have to listen to him. He imagined his mum's surprise, and then her admiration as her youngest led them all into battle. His brothers would realize he'd grown up. Well, all except one, he supposed. But even he would have to come round eventually, turn to his little brother for help. So for now, he would keep his mouth shut. Wait and learn what he could. Caleb blew on his fist, his eyes bright. This would be epic. Theo Benton stood on her big brother Gus's doorstep, pausing to enjoy the relief of a long journey's end. But the breath she let out was snatched back as bedlam exploded onto the porch in the form of a massive hellhound of some sort. Though not, as a rule, frightened of dogs, Theo was unsure of her welcome, and tired, and still a little overwhelmed by the enormity of what she had done, and so she disintegrated a little, pounding on the door in tears and panic as the dog tried to raise the dead. A few neighbors poked their heads out to investigate what was apparently a murder in progress. Gus Benton had been entertaining. After a few moments of scrabbling for clothes, he opened the door. "Theo? What the hell?" He stared at her. Theo tried to make herself heard, but it was futile. The dog was relentless, determined to alert the entire block that there was someone on the threshold. She placed her hands over her ears, cringing away from the din. Gus broke off to calm his dog, and eventually he managed to persuade it to stop barking. The comparative silence that followed provided an opportunity to explain, but now everything Theo had practiced on the flights and bus trips that had brought her from Sydney to Lawrence in the sunflower state of Kansas was lost to her. She stuttered apologies for not having told him she was coming. "Come on." Gus grabbed her bags and motioned her to follow him inside, where he introduced Pam, the young lady wearing his shirt and little else. Pam didn't stay long. A distressed girl with luggage, even if she was just a sister, was probably less than romantic. When they were alone, Gus asked again, "What are you doing here, Theo? Do Mum and Dad know? What the hell is going on?" And so she told him what she'd done. "What do you mean you left uni?" he asked. "You've only got another couple of years to graduation. Surely it can't be that bad." "It is." "But you always wanted to be an attorney?" Theo smiled faintly. "Solicitor," she said. He'd become such an American. "Gus, I was 18 when I enrolled in law school. I'm not sure I even knew what a lawyer really was. I just wanted to be like you, to do what you were doing so that you'd—" She shook her head. Gus exhaled. "Okay, I get it. But there are lots of people in Australia who aren't lawyers. What are you doing here?" I thought... She told him about the creative writing classes she'd taken, the story she wanted to write. The words stumbled out, a confession. Her increasing disinterest in the law, the ever-growing sense of panic and loneliness, and the feeling that she just couldn't face another day, another lecture, until all she could do was run. Then Theo made herself stop talking, knowing the frantic explanations, the pleading justifications made her sound quite mad, and she needed Gus to believe that she was at least sane. She bit her lip to stop herself from filling the silence with words. For a moment, he said nothing, simply looking at her as if he were trying to decide if she was really herself. And then he groaned. "Bloody hell, Theo. You could have just said this on the phone, and I would have picked you up at Fort Worth." "You would have told me to stay, to get my degree." "I'm your big brother. I have to say that. But I still would have met you at the airport when you ignored me." He told her she could choose from the 2 unused bedrooms, though he recommended the one farthest from the bathroom, as the pipes had a tendency to make noises in the night. At first, Theo wasn't sure he'd heard her correctly. "I left," she said slowly.